Hi friends, it's Mari. I'm back again today for honeybee stamps, and I'll be creating an A2 size card today using the Birds of Paradise and Tropical Tweets stamp sets. This is Tropical Tweets and it is right full of so many fantastic sentiments, and it's really fun because it also has a coordinating die set that you can purchase separately, and that die set cuts out absolutely every one of those sentiments in that set. I'm also going to be using the Grass and Hill Builder stencils. This is a brand new stencil set from the last release, and it is actually the best grass stencil I have ever used, and you're going to see that when I create my grass for my scene today. And then of course this is the Birds of Paradise set, which is so sweet, and I just wanted to make a really fun birthday card today because it is Honeybee Stamps birthday and they are having huge celebrations coming up. So in lieu of that, I definitely wanted to make a really fun birthday card today. I'm going to stamp out all of my images onto some Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock. I've placed that in my mini MISTI, and I'm going to stamp out all of my images with some Memento Tuxedo black ink because I am going to be doing some alcohol ink marker coloring today. So now that I've got that all stamped out, those images are all ready to be colored up. I'm going to be using a combination of Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend markers and some Copic markers here. And what I really wanted to do was color my parrots with a rainbow color scheme. So these are not colored so that they would look like real parrots, but rather they're just colored to look like fun rainbow parrots. So you'll just see me using the rainbow here to color in all of the different areas. And I'm just doing a really simple Copic blend here, starting off with my lightest color and then going in with a medium and darker shade to add some shadows. And I'm mostly just using the lines on the stamped image to help me decide where the shadows are going to go. So wherever there is any kind of detail line, I will go in with a darker color and go over that detailed line, and then blend with the lighter colors to blend out any areas that I feel like need to be blended a little bit. The nice thing about the tri-blend markers is you do get all three different tones in the same marker. So you have a light, a medium, and a darker tone. I'm only going to show you coloring one parrot or coloring with each one of the different colors I'm going to be using so that you can see how I blend with these different colors of alcohol marker here. So here you can just see I'm going in with the blue. So I've got my pink and my orange, my yellow and my green. Now I'm going to add a little bit of blue, and then I'll finish off with a little bit of purple as well, just kind of like a really light pale violet color. And I think this is a blue violet from Copic. Just some really soft colors to create some really fun birds for this birthday card. Now I'm just going to take the coordinating die set from the Birds of Paradise. Every one of those images has a coordinating die, which is fantastic. I love that. And now I'm going to die cut all of these different little images out with those coordinating dies. And now I'm going to start to work with the stencils. So of the two stencils that are in that set, I'm just going to be using the Grassy Hill stencil, and this is so good, you guys. This stencil is fantastic. I love it. So I'm going to create a little grassy hill. I'm going to use some Pink Fresh Studio ink here. I'm going to use Tidal Pool, and I'm using my Honeybee Stamps blending brush here to add a little bit of that Tidal Pool on there. It's quite blue-green, but I did want to blend this color with another color, the Grassy Knoll, so that it has a little bit more depth when you add two colors together. So these are dye inks, and I'm just adding them, blending them together so that I kind of have this really pretty kind of grassy hill for my little parrots to stand on. And I'm going to be using the palm frond stencil for the rest of the cardstock here to almost create kind of like a jungle look for our little parrots. So now I'm going in with the Grassy Knoll ink, and I have cleaned my brush on a little bit of paper towel in between colors. I'm using the same brush, but I have brushed off all of that Tidal Pool ink onto some paper towel, and now I'm just going in with the grassy knoll and adding that over top and just blending it in. And you'll just be able to see here how that just creates this really interesting depth and blend of color with those two colors blended on top of each other like that, or the grassy knoll over top of the tidal pool. I really like that. I think it's beautiful. I think it's a really pretty combination. And I do like to go both clockwise and counterclockwise with my blending brush to make sure that it just kind of evens out the blend. And I definitely want to make sure that I'm going up into those little areas for the grass, obviously, to create that really nice, crisp, grassy border. And like I said before, this stencil is amazing. And I love that it's got the grid lines so you can line it up and just all the things. It's a really, really good stencil. So I love that. I think that's really a nice blend for my grass. And not, like I said, I'm using the palm frond stencil as well from Honeybee. This background stencil is really fun. I'm going to use the Pink Fresh Studio Aquamarine dye ink here, and I'm going to just create a really pretty blend with this color. It's obviously not the same tone of green as the grass, so it is going to be a little bit of a contrast and just a nice area there above where the parrots are going to be, just to kind of leave that impression that it is kind of like a jungle scene, which is fun, I think. Our little parrots are just living their life out in the jungle, and they're pretty excited about this birthday party that's happening apparently. So got that all done. I'm going to set that aside. I will show you that obviously when I am ready to start working on that background again. But in the meantime, I want to get my sentiment all ready to go for my card front. So I am working on some black cardstock. I have my anti-static powder tool from EK Success. I'm adding that onto my cardstock so that my embossing powder that I'm going to add to my cardstock does not stick to the cardstock. So I only want my embossing powder to stick to this Ink on 3 sticky clear ink that I am stamping onto my cardstock with that stamp. And the sentiment is going to say, Aparrotly, it's your birthday, which I think is really cute. And that, of course, is from Tropical Tweets. And I'm just going to take some white embossing powder here now and add that to the inked up and stamped up image here. And I'm going to get that added all the way across the sentiment. I'll just tap that off a little bit so that the excess powder goes back into my container. And now I'll take my heat tool and melt that sentiment, and that will be the sentiment for the card. I love the white embossing powder on the black cardstock. I think it just looks really nice and sharp, adds a really nice contrast. And those sentiments in that Tropical Tweet set are just so sweet. And it's a really versatile sentiment set because it covers a lot of different occasions. I'm just taking my microfiber towel and rubbing off all of that anti-static powder. And that just reveals, of course, this nice crisp black cardstock, and then with that white embossing on it. And I'm just going to take the coordinating die and get that all die cut out. I love that the sentiment set has a coordinating die set so that you can get that all nicely trimmed out for your card. I am using an A2 size card base here. This is some Gina K Tranquil Teal, and I will add my card front to my card base with my Honeybee Stamps Be Creative glue. And you'll just see that my glue tube here is getting low, so I had to give it a good shake so that the glue was going to come down to the tip. And I've got that all added onto the back of my card front here. I did actually run my card front through stitched rectangle die, and that is all ready to go now for the base of my little scene here. So I've got that all stuck down there. You can see the palm frond stencil and the grass and how fun that looks for our little scene and our base for our card. I'm just flipping it over so that I can burnish that onto that glue just to make sure the glue is nice and stuck and adhered to my card base. And I am going to be using some foam adhesive to add some of the different parts onto our little scene here. So the little parrots will be added onto the card front with some of that foam adhesive, and then I will just use regular glue, my glue tube, to adhere the other little bits, the little flowers and leaves and that kind of thing. So I just kind of wanted it to look like there's floral vines kind of in behind them. And you'll see that when those are all positioned down here. So I'll just show you how I am going to position things. And I will glue all of the leaves and flowers off camera just to save us a little bit of time here. All I do for those little bits is just add a little bit of liquid adhesive to the back and add them in behind the parrots. But I will definitely show you the placement and what I sort of had in mind for how they are going to look on our little scene here. I wanted that little guy on the left to sort of look like he's off kilter a little bit. And I just want them to just look really quite excited because it's a party. Apparently, it's your birthday. So, you know, got to be excited about that for sure. So these little guys are all stuck down now with that foam adhesive, and I am just going to take those different little leaves and florals and stick them in behind our little parrots. And I'm just going to show you here. That is all I'm going to do for adding these little bits in. I think I also use a few glue dots as well to add these into the different areas I'm going to place them in. But for now, I'm just going to show you where I'm going to place them. Like I said, I just kind of want it to look like these vines are growing behind them in this jungle scene. And they are living the life in the jungle, these parrots. Super cute. I do really love this specific set here, this Birds of Paradise set. So sweet. There are lots of things that you can do with this set, and it's super fun. Sort of like one of those ageless sets that could be used for any age of recipient. Very, very fun. So there you can just see all these little floral bits are just going to be poking in and around our little parrots, and just kind of deciding on placement. I just want to make sure that there's sort of like an equivalent amount of leaves and florals around each of the two parrots, and just going to keep adding those in. The nice thing too about that set is there's a ton of different sizes of leaves and flowers, so that you could really create a really fun little jungle scene with these different bits, and you could make lots of little floral bouquets with those stamps. Lots of things you could do with that. So they're really fun. This is just the general idea of where I want to put things. So you can just see how the scene came together there. And then, like I said, I will go ahead off camera and stick everything down. I'm just going to finish up by adding the sentiment, and I will add the sentiment with some foam adhesive as well. I really do like how that black cardstock pops on this background. It's quite a colorful background, and I just thought that that black cardstock would be a fun way to really make the sentiment stand out on this bright card. I love how that palm frond stencil as well kind of almost gives a 3D appearance on the background. It almost looks like a die-cut image behind these parrots, but yeah, it's stenciled, and the stenciling's super easy to do. It's very quick. So I do love a good stencil like this one. They're really fun to definitely add those details. Now I'm going to finish up with some sparkle and shine. As I do, I'm going to be using my Nuvo shimmer pen here to add some shimmer to the places where I have used the Copic markers. I do find that the shimmer pen does really bring out the brilliance and the vibrance of the colors that you've used in your alcohol ink markers. I like going over the alcohol ink images with those shimmer pens. I just feel like it really does make the color a little bit more bright and brilliant. I'm going to add a few highlights with my white gel pen. So you'll just see me going over some of the different little areas here, just adding tiny little lines and dots with the gel pen. And that just gives that little bit of extra detail to your card. You know, little things like this that just really finish your card off nicely. I always say, I repeat myself a lot, I know, with the white gel pen, but it's important to add this over top of the shimmer pen, because if you use the shimmer pen after the white gel pen, it will reactivate your white gel pen and smear it. So you don't want that to happen. And I am pretty much done with that. Now I'm going to go on with some stickles. I'm going to add stickles color on color. So purple on purple, pink on pink, yellow on yellow, for all of the different little colored areas. The only one that I don't add color to is the orange, because believe it or not, I do not have an orange stickle. So that is on my wish list for sure. So I'm just going to add a little bit, tiny little dots here and there. I don't add too much, but I just want a little bit, enough to pick up the light when the light shines on the images, and it'll just kind of like grab that glitter that's in the stickles and really make it sparkle in a nice way. Going to add a little bit of teal to the teal area or the blue areas as well. And that's just going to add another little bit of contrast in those areas as well. Make sure that you check out the Honeybee shop. There are all kinds of fun things going on in the next few weeks with the birthday celebration. There are going to be new products. There are going to be giveaways. There's going to be Instagram Hop. There's going to be YouTube Hop coming up soon. And so watch for that. Watch for those dates in social media. I know Kelly will be on Instagram and she'll be doing some lives, and there's going to be all kinds of really fun things going on. So make sure you watch for that. And this card is definitely paying homage to the birthday of Honeybee Stamps, and I think it's birthday number 6 for them. So it's just a really fun celebration and really awesome thing to celebrate, that's for sure. Now these are the rainbow gem stickers, and I am going to use green gem stickers in 3 different areas here just to add one more tiny little touch of bling to my card, and that is going to finish my card off today. Make sure that you check the description box below for links to all of the products that I've used. If you did not pick up Birds of Paradise when it was released or anytime since then, make sure you check it out. It's a really fun set and it's a very versatile set. I really love it. It's one of my favorites for sure. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you can pick up all of that sparkle and shine that's on this really pretty fun card. Have an amazing day, everybody. Stay safe, stay well, and I will see you next Friday. Bye-bye.